Hello gold farmers, welcome to another Going Route Farming video. Today I'll be showing you how engineers can make quite a bit of gold off of the Lunar Festival. Now a lot of people may not know about this, but for some reason WoW players actually really enjoy fireworks, at least on role-playing servers, and you can actually make quite a bit of gold off of selling fireworks. Engineers have been able to make a small assortment of these fireworks for quite some time, and you can just make a little bit of extra gold by doing a little bit. You don't really actually have to do a whole lot, and you don't really need to farm or anything either, because for the most part the fireworks actually sell for a good amount of gold. My loot appraiser keeps picking them up fairly high because there's a couple people trying to control the market on my server, and I'm not going to post them anywhere near as much as what I'm being suggested that these fireworks are selling for, because one, it's a complete ripoff, and two, they're really easy to make, though not everyone can make them. There are a few different types of fireworks you can make from different expansions. One of the easiest is the assortment of fireworks that I was just opening, which you can make with ghost iron ore. And I know for quite a few people the ghost iron ore is actually pretty expensive, or you can make it from bars actually. And I spent a total of 5k on an entire stack of ghost iron bars, and it only costs around 60 gold to actually make these Pandarian fireworks. Now I actually didn't know this, but you can actually obtain a schematic off of opening the Pandarian fireworks, which can sell for a couple of K. It looks like not all of these were from those. I had bought a few schematics off the auction house so I can make more. So it's costing me around an average of 60 gold to craft one of these Pandarian fireworks, and it's decently profitable. I don't really have to worry too much about going out of any ghost iron or bars, because one, I can farm it. I can either buy it off the auction house, smelt the bars, and craft the explosive powder, though I don't really recommend that. There are other fireworks that you can actually craft that are, I believe, quite a bit cheaper and easier to obtain. That would be the white flare and green flare, I believe it is. I believe there's another one, the purple flare. That's what it looks like. It takes one elemental blasting powder, another reef cloth, purple dye for the purple one. The white smoke flare takes one elemental blasting powder and one nether weave cloth. So right here I have 22 motes, so I can craft what is 88 of the elemental blasting powders, and the mote of earth is just really easy to get. It's really cheap. If you can't find it cheap, then you can go and mine a couple of routes in the Outlands to get the ton of the mote of earth. Mote of fire, it sells for quite a bit, but it's actually fairly cheap in a small sense, especially the motes. They're really decently easy to obtain, and considering it only takes one of the blasting powders to craft the white snare float, the white smoke flare, and the other two smoke flares, it's really a cheap alternative to crafting the Pandaria fireworks. You can craft other fireworks, which I believe uses the heavy blasting powder, but they also use heavy leather, and heavy leather on my server is pretty expensive. It's actually quite a bit more expensive than what the Ghost Iron ore is. So this one's out of the picture for me, though if you want, you can either go farm the leather yourself, or if it's cheap enough on your auction house, you can go out and buy it. Though I do highly recommend that you go ahead and stick with the the elemental blasting powder one, because it's really cheap to make. Your profit off of it should also be quite a bit higher than any of the others, especially if you decide to go out and buy the stuff. You can also sell the elemental blasting powder by yourself if you want. You don't have to craft it or anything. I'm sure you might find some buyers for it, but right now there are going to be a decent amount of people looking for quite a few different fireworks. I'm pretty sure there are firework vendors, although I can't be certain. Don't forget that the 4th of July is also coming up fairly soon. So you can also save up for this stuff as well. For some reason, fireworks inside of games is fairly common and very widely used. If you want to find a group for the Moat of Fire and all of that, there are a couple different things I suggest. One, you can farm the location, if my map will load up, in Hellfire Peninsula that is set on a forest respawn. Quite a few people actually farm it, and it's a really good location. If you don't really feel like farming or killing enemies, then you can farm the Fell Iron ore here in Hellfire Peninsula or any other location that I guess has a pretty decent chance of spawning the Fell Iron ore. You can save up for those if you miss out on this event, or if you don't sell a whole lot. The 4th of July will probably be quite a bit bigger, and any kind of holiday that people will generally set off fireworks for, you can also make a decent amount of gold off of it that way. There's really not a huge demand, or I guess not necessarily demand, but not a huge competition for the fireworks. I did this quite a few years ago, and I was selling just about every single firework that I had crafted, which I was pretty surprised on. I believe I was also buying vendored fireworks as well, which were selling just as fast as I was buying them, and granted that was a few years ago. You do still have a chance of selling these. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content.